Hi, my friends. We have a winter wonderland here today in Portland, Oregon, don't we, all of you? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty out. This was a good day for me to have all the snow out there because I was working from home and doing my live stream and working on a couple of talks. And so this is just really sweet for me. I get to look out there and enjoy all of this. I'm curious, hi Rick, all of the, your notes that are coming up are bright green now. When did that change? So, God, fun stuff. Hi, Eva. So let me just put my glasses on really quick and say hi to a few people. Hi, Ebi. How are you? So nice to run into you the other day, Ebi. Got some new stuff going on with the yoga studio we all need to hear about. A big move, huh? So, gosh, I guess I should mention for any of you here that might have been going tonight to the New Thought Center for Spiritual Living, their Wednesday night service. I was doing the talk tonight on an intimate evening of love letters. Hi, Evie. So I'm kind of bummed, so please make a note. They've canceled services tonight, and if you can pass that on to anybody that thought that they were going to go. I don't know. I think they may try to fit me in on another Wednesday night. I was a little bit bummed. I was looking forward to doing this with you guys. It's a really fun evening of writing a love letter, not just to a lover or a spouse, but to someone who we know that we really are longing to put some beautiful words down on paper to, or that we just need to get it out. Sometimes it's to a deceased parent or a pet or something like that. So anyway, hopefully I'll be able to do that again soon. So. How's everybody doing? Did they have a nice Valentine's week last week? For any of you, that makes me think. Welcome to Revolutionary Love. I'm Barb Beck. I've been a 21-year relationship coach. And for any of you who are not receiving my weekly newsletter, there's all kinds of things that I have in there, like that kind of thing. Offerings, places I'm speaking, special things that I'm doing. The last couple of weeks I was giving away prizes for some things. And so if you're not being kept up on that, please go to my website, revolutionarylove.com. There's a place to click on there and sign up for my newsletter. It's just a weekly newsletter, some good tips and things, offerings. I think you'll enjoy it. And then you'll also get a free download of my little ebook, Love, Sex, and the Spiritual Path. So I want to make sure I said that right now. If you don't have that, or you're not getting the I'm going to turn this a little bit. Not getting the newsletter. Please make sure that you sign up for that today. And please make sure that you let your friends and family know about this live stream, about my newsletter, about places I'm going to speak. All of you keep asking me, where can we keep getting more information from you if it's, besides hiring you for one-on-one private coaching. So these are the ways, and I hope that you'll pass it on to your friends too. I'm ready to jump in, you guys. I'm back revisiting this topic of feeling your feelings first, really sitting with those feelings long enough that we allow them to inform us and allow them to truly have the opportunity to start to kind of dissolve and release before we move on to using these beautiful spiritual principles and practices that most of us here have in our life. Most of you here are on some kind of personal growth path and spiritual growth path. So I keep getting asked, hi Ashley, I keep getting asked though some really specific questions about, but how do I balance this? I'm so confused. I know I'm not supposed to, put energy into something negative. I'm confused about the positivity movement. I'm confused about spiritual principles and practices that actually feel really important to me to use. I don't want to throw all those out, but I also know that it feels really bad to me to not honor whatever is coming up for me in the moment. And so I have a feeling this isn't the last time that I'm going to talk about this. While I am deeply grateful, and I mean that, for the New Thought movement and what that New Thought movement of spirituality and understanding has brought into my life. Deep healing, huge awarenesses that I never had before. And for me that came, rock bottom, landing my butt in therapy in my early 30s, doing some deep, deep healing work there for, 3 years or so, and then coming across Louise Hay and Scott Peck and the New Thought movement and all of these things. Hi, Sharon. And so for me, that was just a beautiful way for that to unfold. I, too, still ended up getting caught in sort of, the catchword now is that positivity movement or whatever. I, too, got caught in that confusion. And that's why it's really, really important to me that we keep talking about the necessity to feel deeply what is going on with us, what's coming up for us, because those feelings are there to inform us of something. It also would be very sad to me for any of us that have found spiritual principles and practices to be deeply healing for us and a way of life that, really helps us ground and center. I would hate to have somebody now just throw all of those out and say, oh my God, what a waste of time, and not understand what to do with these feelings. So that's what I'm here to talk about again. I've talked about it in a blog. I've talked about it once before in a live stream. It just came up again this week, and I wanted to revisit. We won't make this a really long live stream, and I have a feeling we'll keep talking about it, okay? So I'm going to look at my list. What I said I was going to talk to you about today is I'm going to mention again just what specifically do I mean by spiritual bypassing for anybody here who doesn't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to mention really quickly the two sides of that coin, either feeling your feelings and never moving into action to get out of that place, or starting to feel a feeling, numbing out, or quickly, skipping over that feeling because it's too uncomfortable for us and going to spiritual principles and practices. Two sides of that coin, neither one are helpful in my opinion. How we inadvertently hurt others when we do a spiritual bypass. I want to talk about that. And then what I really want to do and get to quickly is give you some examples. People keep saying to me, can you please give me an example of what you mean by that, of what it would look like if I felt a feeling and didn't do a spiritual bypass? When do I then move to using spiritual principles and practices? So I want to give you a couple, 3 examples so that we can kind of get a feel for it and anchor it, and you can ask me some questions around it, okay? And then if we want to jump back on another live stream and go back in and revisit it again and get some more questions going, we'll do that, okay? Does that sound good? Thumbs up, you guys? Yeah? That sound good? Okay, give me some hearts and thumbs up. Let me know you're here. Okay, so review. What is a spiritual bypass? In its simplest form, what I'm talking about is, let's say we feel a feeling any given day. We wake up in the morning, we realize, oh my God, I am so irritable and angry today. I don't know what's going on. We wake up or we're moving through our day in the afternoon and we realize we're feeling heavy and sad, and we're like, what is going on? I feel just practically depressed. I don't know what's happening with me, okay? Any of those things. A feeling is coming up and it's trying to inform us of something. A spiritual bypass is when we refuse to feel that feeling. We don't like it. It's uncomfortable. We don't want to look at it. We don't want to spend time with it. We don't want to befriend it. That's a word I want you, grab your journals. I want you to put a little star, and I want you to write that word down. Befriend. That is what we're attempting to do with our feelings. And when we won't do that for any number of reasons, what a lot of us on a spiritual path will do is immediately jump to a spiritual principle that we're trying to work with to feel better, not feel this feeling that's coming up, but to feel better, or a spiritual practice. Meaning, quite simply, I am feeling angry, resentful, and pissed off in this moment, and I don't want to feel that. That feels bad. I'm going to do a spiritual bypass, and I'm going to jump to, all is good. It's all love. I feel harmony with everyone. I accept all of my feelings and life is wonderful. Okay, see how it almost feels like a really weird sugar coating, and it doesn't feel good to not honor what's going on with us? That's a spiritual bypass. That's what I'm talking about in its simplest form. Hi, Valerie. I'm glad you're here. So that's what I mean by a spiritual bypass. Second thing I said I was going to talk to you about are what are the two sides of that coin, doing one or the other. I think you can clearly see that from what I've just said. Either we feel a feeling come up. Our feelings are just feelings, you guys. They're legitimate. Every feeling we have is legitimate. Loneliness, anger, resentment, frustration, loss, grief, harmony, love, peace, joy. They're feelings. Okay? And any of those that we term negative aren't really negative. We just may like how one feels better than the other, but our feelings are simply our feelings. If we hang out just in our feelings and never move into action to try to shift then the vision of where we want to go, what we want to feel, and how we want to move toward that vision, feelings will come up and we can sit in those too long and have them bring us down. What do I mean by that? The example I use all the time is that we can be feeling great, driving along in our car, hear a really sad love song on the radio, or maybe one that was attached to a relationship that we were in the past. Maybe it was our song or whatever, and we can go in 2 minutes from feeling joyful and centered and wonderful and happy to sad, lonely, upset, angry, and nothing happened. Okay? That's when we want to feel that feeling, but we want to acknowledge this is not a place I need to sit. This is a place I need to feel that wash of an emotion go through and then keep moving forward. I don't want anybody just stuck in feelings, because our feelings aren't many times a great thing to use. I'm not saying this well. We don't want to only use our feelings, okay? That's what I'll say. In therapy, lovely, child of an alcoholic, when I felt feelings, that immediately meant I was supposed to do something. That's just the rut that had been laid down for me in my nervous system. So my therapist had me write down on a piece of paper and put on my refrigerator. I had it on there for 6 months. I do not have to act on my feelings. Yes, I actually had to be reminded of that day in and day out walking through my kitchen. It was important that I felt my feelings. She was trying to help me understand that I did not have to act on every feeling that I had, which is what I'm talking to you about here today. I want you to feel them, but then what do we do? So two sides of that coin. Hi, Paul. Getting stuck in just simply feeling feelings and emotions and kind of wallowing in them and sitting in them and never moving out of them, never allowing them to dissipate, which I'm going to talk to you about. Or doing the spiritual bypass, we start to feel a feeling, boom. We don't want to do that, so we go all the way over very quickly to a spiritual principle or practice, and we just start affirming, all is well, life is good, there's no problem, there's no negativity in our world, I accept everything that's showing up. And over here, quietly in our body and in our nervous system, that feeling and emotion is saying, hey, I really, really would appreciate if you would acknowledge me and give me a little bit of time for a minute, okay? That's the two sides of that coin. I don't want you to fall into either one of those extremes. It's not helpful. I've been there, and it's not helpful. Those feelings are there to inform us, and we can use beautiful spiritual principles and practices then to move forward toward the vision that we want to move forward to, okay? The third thing I said I would mention is how do we inadvertently, sorry, I'm sitting on my foot. I need to change my position here. How do we inadvertently hurt people by doing a spiritual bypass? Oh, this is how this keeps coming up for me and why I'm doing this again today. People keep saying to me that they're running across, loving, caring friends and family members, especially who are on a spiritual path, who are hurting them by quickly trying to move them from a feeling or something that they're experiencing, from emotion that they're experiencing, to, ooh, that's making me uncomfortable. Let's move you to a positive place right now. 1, I don't want you to sit there. 2, I don't want to sit with your pain. I don't want to sit with your grief. I don't want to sit with your anger. And so I'm going to try to help move you over here quickly too. And I'll tell you what, if you've ever had that done to you, I have. And you know, I am sure in the past I've probably done that, which makes me really sad if I've ever done that to anybody. And if I have to any of you, I'm deeply sorry. It is our own discomfort to try to move somebody quickly out of pain or anger or resentments or loss or grief that they're feeling. Or it truly is that we've been taught in the New Thought community that that is where we're supposed to hang out. And so with the best of intentions, we're trying to quickly yank a friend over there or a family member over there. So we really hurt the people that we care about by not being willing to sit with our arm around somebody or with our heart open to somebody. Let me see what Ashley's saying. You only move when you're ready. That's so true. Yes. Thank you, Ashley. And what I want to talk about is how do we know when we're ready? What are the signs? See, I really want to give you guys specific examples today. Okay, so I've talked about those 3 things. I want to jump right into the examples. Okay, so if you're willing to do this with me, I'm going to role play like this. I want you to understand, what does it sound like? What are our choices? How do we do this? So I'm going to just take a couple, okay? We're going to jump in. Let's take loneliness, okay? I'm going to role play. Here we go. Let me take a drink here because my throat's still kind of scratchy. All right, play along with me here, okay, guys? Ready? Are you ready? All right. You wake up in the morning, you come down, you get a cup of coffee, you sit down on your couch as you're starting your day, you look out the window, and you have this heavy feeling, and you go, God, I am really feeling lonely today. What is going on? I really feel lonely. Okay, right there, you guys. Whether we put in there, wow, I'm sitting here with my coffee, I'm looking out my window, and I am really angry. Or I am sitting here with my coffee on my couch looking out the window, and I realize, oh my God, I am grieving about something. I'm so sad, I feel like I'm going to cry. We're sitting there, and you realize you're feeling an intense feeling. And one of those that we like to call negative. Start with loneliness. We have a choice. One is we quickly do a spiritual bypass. We feel this, oh my God, I'm feeling lonely. And we hear the thought, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That feels bad. I'm not going there. I don't want to feel lonely. Oh my God, I'm not going down that path. Oh my God. And we yank ourselves over to what we've learned. And we start talking to ourselves about spiritual principles. There's no reason for me to feel lonely. I am loved. I have access to the love of the entire universe. I am peaceful inside. I am grounded. I am in harmony with everything in the universe. All is well in my world. And we just start the affirmations and the mantras. You know, it's not a bad thing, but it's not going to be helpful. It is a way to try to divert our attention. It is a spiritual bypass. And if you are on a deep spiritual path, it may actually kind of kick in and work for a few minutes. I actually can do that and have it work for maybe 10 minutes. But as soon as I start going about my day, if I do that and I go and I start to shower and I have not been willing to feel that feeling, I feel it wash right over me again. These spiritual principles and practices do not work for very long if we ignore the feeling. Okay? Okay, I will say this. Some of you may agree or not agree. If you're in a situation where you're sitting in a meeting, or you're somewhere where you're like, oh my God, this is not a good time for me to sit and befriend this feeling, maybe that is a good way to quickly say to yourself, hey, feeling, I am coming back to you, I promise. I right now need to finish this meeting, so let me remind myself that all truly is well, and I am safe, and I am okay, and I will finish this meeting, and I will come back later today or this evening when I get home, and I will access that feeling again. That might be a time to do a quick jump, okay? So let's stay with our example. Let's stay with the role play, okay? So we've been feeling lonely, and we have the one choice. I'm not feeling this. Boom, I'm going to jump over to spiritual principles and practices. I don't want you to do that. Or we can sit here, and we can feel this feeling, wow, I'm feeling lonely today. And we're sitting there with our coffee in the morning, staring out the window, and we feel the feeling. Instead of just acknowledging and honoring the feeling, we let our thinking, crazy monkey mind kick in, and we start telling our stories. Correct? Don't we do this all the time? We start interpreting. So we're feeling lonely, and we start hearing this kind of thing. Oh my God, yeah. Oh, I am going to be single forever. What is wrong with me? I can't believe, nobody else feels lonely like this. Everybody's got a happy life but me. Everybody I know has a partner but me. There's nobody in my life that I can ever do anything with. Everybody has great friends. I hardly have any. I'm constantly lonely. I don't even know why I do this. Nobody likes me at work. I'm a loser. I don't know what's happening. And we start listening to that crazy, crazy negative thinking. Okay, you guys, that's not what I'm talking about feeling a feeling. That's feeling a feeling and having it immediately trigger that crazy negative egoic mind that thinks it's keeping us safe, and starting to listen to these negative stories that they like to run. I don't want you doing that either. So what's the third choice? What am I asking you to do when I'm talking to you about feeling a feeling? I'm asking you to sit there, hold your coffee on your couch, look out the window and go, wow, I'm feeling really lonely this morning. What is going on? And then to say, I'm not going to try to figure this out in my mind. I want to simply feel the feeling. And this is what I like to do. So do this with me. Okay? If you're willing to. Look, you're in your own place. Nobody can see you. What I like to do is stay out of my thinking mind, use my hand, and actually just focus on two things. Breathing. Just breathing deeply and slowly in and out, and placing my hand where I feel that in my body. So I might be talking to myself like this. I close my eyes. Close your eyes, you guys. Well, maybe you have to watch me. I close my eyes, and let's say it's loneliness. And I might say, oh, I'm feeling lonely. Breathing. Where am I feeling that loneliness in my body today? Wow, I really feel it in my heart. Ugh. What am I feeling? What's it feel like? What does that loneliness feel like? Oh, it feels like a tightness across my chest. It feels like a tightness in my heart. It feels really constricting. Stay out of your thinking. Stay out of the stories. Yeah, I'm lonely. I'm a loser. Okay, no. Just feeling. Where do I feel it? Here. I feel constriction in my heart area. Just keep breathing. And just picture. Put your focus on your heart area. Maybe it moves. Maybe you go, ooh, starting to feel that loneliness right here in my throat, in my throat chakra. Oh, I can feel tears kind of welling up. Breathing, breathing, not thinking anything, not following thoughts and not doing anything, just breathing. In and out. What does it feel like? Be curious. Try to keep your mind curious. What does that loneliness feel like? It feels kind of heavy. Ooh, I'm watching it move down. I'm watching it move into my solar plexus. I kind of have a knot in my stomach. I'm breathing. Ooh, I just felt something kind of loosen up there. Breathing, breathing. Is this loneliness trying to tell me something? Is there a message attached to this? Not hearing anything. Oh, I see. I feel kind of lonely. I'm disappointed that that didn't work out with my friend and I last night to go to that movie. I do really enjoy, now that I'm single, really being able to get out and hang out with my friends, and I missed that last night. Okay, oh, that feels better when I say that. Oh, I'm feeling my heart kind of lighten a little bit. Breathing, breathing. Start to hear something crazy in your mind? Nope, we're not going there. And we keep breathing, and we keep breathing, and we keep feeling it. And what I know for myself, and when I work with clients or do energy work like this, is if you will befriend this feeling, stay curious about the feeling, not go into the thinking mind, listen to these crazy stories, but actually just go, are you trying to inform me of something? Is there something that you're telling me? And allow it to move through you. For me, it will start to dissolve. It almost feels like sugar starting to dissolve in water. I'll feel the tension, it'll kind of grow, it'll kind of, and I'll feel it, and then I'll feel it start to dissolve. And if I stay with it, and I keep breathing it, and I allow it to be, and I keep my hand on my body, kind of moving through places, oh, it's moving to my neck, that pain a little, it starts to dissolve, and I will literally feel kind of a release. It'll start to dissolve, and for me, I'll feel kind of, sometimes I even hear a popping sensation, but I'll feel like a, like that. And it'll feel a release, and I can feel it start to shift. Maybe it'll completely go away. For me, I'll get a lot of times where it's just like, boom, it's just lightened. I feel it release. The loneliness just kind of, boom, just kind of goes away. The anger just kind of dissolves and melts at my feet, and it's gone. Sometimes I'll have the lingering sensation of maybe, let's take loneliness, a little bit like, yeah, okay. So I'm feeling a little residue of a little bit of loneliness today, but it feels completely different. And what it does is it then opens this window to me to then bring in a beautiful spiritual principle like acceptance. Maybe I'll just then be able to very genuinely move from, I feel that loneliness really dissolve, and now I can move over and I can go, I just want to move into a state of acceptance of, I just accept that I have all kinds of emotions move through me like waves at times, and I just let them ebb and flow. Or I might move into, I know that I am deeply have peace accessible to me at all times. And I just move into that sense of deep peace now. But can you see how that's a natural, organic movement into using a really beautiful spiritual principle then to kind of lift you up and take you where you want to go? Does that make sense, you guys? I'm going to move on to one more example. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up or a heart if this example is making sense to you. Hi, Babu. I'm so glad you're here. I'm giving examples of how to not do a spiritual bypass. Okay. Let's try one more example. So we tried the example of loneliness. Great, thanks for the thumbs up, you guys. Let's try the example of anger, okay? And I want to just give you those, I want to walk you through it again, what it would look like. So we'll do the same example. You wake up in the morning, you get your coffee, you sit down on the couch, you look out the window, and you realize, wow, I am really feeling agitated this morning. I am angry. I don't even know what I'm feeling that angry about. I feel so irritable. I'm feeling resentful or something. What is going on? For many of us, again, on a spiritual path, the first choice for a lot of us is, ooh, I don't want to feel that anger feeling. It's not okay for me to feel resentful or agitated or frustrated or irritable. I'm going to do a spiritual bypass, and I'm going to quickly run right over here, and I'm going to say, no, 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 all is well in my world. Everything is love. I am a loving being. Everything is in divine right action. I am at harmony with everybody in my world. I release any kind of resentment and anger and open my arms to fully feeling love and peace for everyone. And again, you might be able to get that to kick in quickly for a moment, 10 minutes, whatever. But by the time you get in your car and start to drive to work or to the grocery store, if you did not feel or acknowledge or honor that feeling, it is going to keep trying to get your attention, I promise you. And that's why we're having this conversation. No spiritual bypassing. These spiritual principles and practices are beautiful, and we want to use them at the right time. So if you're sitting there and you're feeling that, and we're not going to do a spiritual bypass because we don't want to feel anything like that, the other option is to just simply feel the feeling. And then what did I say the second choice is that we normally go with? Have the feeling start to inform our crazy thinking monkey mind and start to go into stories that are not helpful either. So I'm feeling anger and resentment and irritation, and I allow my brain and my thinking mind to go crazy and start going, God, I am so pissed off at her. I can't believe she did that last night. This is ridiculous. This is not the first time. I'll tell you what's happening. I'm not putting up with this crap anymore. And now we're not feeling a feeling. We're in our thinking mind, thinking negative thoughts, crazy thinking, building our resentments intentionally by entertaining stories. That's not what I'm talking about by feeling a feeling. Our third option, what did I just say when we did the example around loneliness? If we're not going to spiritual bypass, and we're not going to feel the feeling and allow it to have us go into negative stories, we simply, genuinely befriend the feeling. Okay? So let's do it again. Okay? I'm big on, we take our hand, we find it in our body, we're remaining curious. Okay? We're feeling anger, resentment, irritation. You know what that feels like. Feels, ugh. So we close our eyes, we breathe, we focus on our breathing, gentle, slow inhales and exhales. Whew, I'm really feeling anger. Wow, what is going on with me today? I'm so curious. Where did this come from? Or maybe we know where it came from. We take our hand, we go, where am I feeling it in our body, in my body? Anger, wow. Ooh, if you could see me right now, I'm putting my hand on my solar plexus. So when I feel anger, it's usually right there. So you might put your hand there. Oh yeah, boy, am I feeling anger in my solar plexus. Wow. My solar plexus is tight and constriction. It almost feels like it's on fire. And we just keep breathing. And we remain curious. If you start to go in your thinking mind, jump out of that and just remain curious and go, wow, what are you trying to tell me, anger? Is it anger? Be curious. Is it anger or is it resentment? Am I resentful about something or somebody? Just being curious. Oh yeah, I'm feeling really resentful about that person and what happened last night. Okay. Where am I feeling that in my body? And all of a sudden, maybe it changes from here. Maybe you come up and you're like, ooh, yeah. God, I'm feeling that in my shoulders. Shoulders are tight. I'm feeling a lot of anger and resentment in my shoulders. Whew, breathing, breathing. Okay, I'm just staying with it. And remember, guys, when we're talking about feeling feelings, we're just staying with the feeling, breathing, being curious, because we're trying to befriend it long enough that we allow it to do two things: move, shift, start to unstick, and begin to dissolve, just like I described in the one around loneliness. That picture of sugar dissolving in a bowl of water. We can't force it, but if we stay with it and don't fight it, it starts to kind of move through our body, and you'll notice it has a kind of a peak, feels intense. I can usually, my solar plexus, feel like, ah! And if I stay with it and don't do anything, it starts, with each breath, I can feel it start to dissolve. Dissolve more. I'm breathing. I feel tension start to release. If I've been having my hands on my shoulders, I feel the anger start to release. I'm making sure I'm not going into the stories. I'm not bringing that person and the story into my mind. I'm just saying, I'm allowing the anger to be present. I'm allowing it to move. I'm allowing it to inform me. And maybe I'll ask again, what are you trying to tell me here? Okay, anger. What are you trying to tell me here? And maybe you hear nothing, or maybe you hear, you know what? It's time for you to start speaking up about this. It's time for you to set a boundary this next time. Oh, okay. Okay, great. And you'll feel more release and more release. And when you allow that to move through you, all the way through, and then dissolve, again, my experience is I usually then feel a lightening, and when I know it's done, it kind of feels like a letting go, like that. Sometimes I'll hear a pop. Sometimes I'll just feel my shoulders go like, and once again, in my example, like I did with loneliness, sometimes I'll still feel a little residue of maybe irritation or something, but I absolutely know that in my entire being, I can feel that feeling has been released, and I can move over here, and I can use a spiritual principle or a practice or both to actually then take me from this place of release and move me very intentionally to where I want to be then. So if it was anger and I've let it dissolve and move through me and inform me, and now I want to move forward, I then can maybe sit in a quiet meditation and use a principle like, what I know is that we are all surrounded by love, and so is this person that I was feeling angry about. And what I know is that I am centered and grounded in love, and that I am moving through this world in harmony with every being. And all of those principles and practices help us and help shift us to the place that we want to be if we will first honor our feelings and befriend them. Then these beautiful spiritual principles and practices allow us to really ground in how we want to show up and in how we want to stand firmly on the side of love as we move through our world. God, I hope that makes sense to you guys. Many, many blessings to all of you. If you've got any questions about this, please let me know. This is such an important one. I'm going to ask you, please, will you do this for me today and for everyone? Will you please repost this on your timelines or send this replay to anyone that you know would benefit, who's getting stuck in feelings and they don't know what to do, or getting stuck in bypassing and they don't know what to do? Will you please take a moment this week to post this on your timelines and say, hey, you guys, this is really, really important, and here's some specific examples of what you do? Or will you send it to some people and share it? This is going to be so helpful for people that don't know what to do with these feelings and are getting stuck, just immersed in negativity and feelings and don't know how to get out, or are stuck in trying to flee from feelings and using things like spiritual principles or numbing or avoidance or whatever they're using instead of befriending the feelings. If you will do that, I would be so appreciative, and so would everyone else. Peace and blessings to all of you. I love you all. I will talk to you soon. Have a great week.